Hey guys, it's your girl Red So Crazy. So let's get into this transformation cut from natural. So straight off the back, when my client came in, she definitely informed me that she has been braiding back to back. She was very nervous for this haircut because obviously, once you've been doing the same thing continually for a while, anything new is just going to be a bit like, scary. But we had a good conversation, and I just explained to her that she's made the journey to me, and she just gotta trust her instinct that she chose the right person, and I'm definitely gonna make sure that she was right. So once I gave her a little bit of encouragement, she kind of calmed down a bit, and she just allowed me to do my thing. There's going to be a lot where you see me speaking to this client because, when you're doing styles that just require so little of yourself in regards to maintenance, going into something like a relaxer that, is consistent as well of a pixie cut, there needs to be a lot of information that needs to be transferred. So I'll be doing a lot of that. So here's the thing. Once you wear braids back to back, you will find that your hair will just incur a bit of damage, and some people more than others, especially if your hair is finer. Like my client, her hair is quite fine, so she had strenuous damage as well as dryness because back to back, didn't trim the ends, yada yada yada. So it was time for us to go in and just start right fresh, get a new routine in, and just introduce her to some new products and a new system. We went in and we gave her a relaxer, and she also wanted a semi-permanent black. And so we did that. She also asked to do a more sort of a medium pixie to a really short pixie so that she can just kind of see how she settled with it, which I think is absolutely fine. Sometimes it's best for you to just have a starting point, go home, see how you settle with that, and then like most clients, they always come back and say, I want it shorter. So yeah, we started quite medium. As I was cutting her hair, I realized that she had patches in the back where, again, the braids was just too strenuous to her hair, and it just definitely just broke off. And that is exactly what it would do. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the braids. Absolutely not. If you're wearing them correctly, i.e. if you're going to put them in, ensure that when you take them out, give your hair a treatment, give your hair a little trim on the ends. In fact, you can't do them back to back. You've got to break in between braids as well, because braids carry weight. Never forget that. And the scalp does not like weight. The scalp likes to be free. So the minute you are consistently adding weight to your hair, you're definitely gonna find that the hair is just not growing out the scalp the way it wants to. It's being strained, so it's not as full, it's not as lively, the color doesn't look as vibrant. So those are like the telltale signs for you to just be like, okay, I just need to ease up a little bit. So at this point, we've cut her down and everything, and we got her shape in. It's a rough shape, and I always do it quite rough before whilst we're wet, and then when we're dry, we just make it quite much more precise. So as I am as I'm wrapping her, I'm explaining to her how she's gonna have to, do her mold. I say this all the time, and it's a fact. Every client that comes into my chair, especially if you're coming to my chair for the first time, you will get taught. You're gonna get lessons on the spot, because I feel it doesn't make sense for you to then go home with something that you just absolutely have no clue how to get around, know what to do, what products, nothing. So on the spot, myself and my assistants, we will be giving you like a step-by-step tutorial on how to get your hair laid and to just make it like minimalistic for you. One top tip I will add is, before you add your foam into your hair, ladies, ensure that your mold is set first. So put in all your base products, your oil, your leave-in treatment, put in your and then make your mold and put it in the direction of which you want to wear it before adding your foam, and that way you're not excessively using the foam, and it's not like everywhere, and it doesn't come out too sticky, because sometimes I feel like some girlies, they go a bit ham with the foam, and it's really, really not necessary. And really and truly, you do not want to have an excessive amount of product on your hair, because it will alter the end result, i.e. when tongue in, yada yada yada. So now we're adding her papers, and I'm just showing her as well how important it is to ensure that your papers are laid. You know, sometimes I just see people just whacking on papers. No, there has to be a system so that the hair can just dry nice and smooth. It's not just about just like covering the whole head with papers and just tying it up all over the place. You need to have a system. Your first layer of paper needs to be an overlap paper. The second layer of paper, that's when you twist it. And then you start to just cover the top and enter into the mummy wrap. I did explain to her that these papers that we're using, they are barber strips. So they're neck rolls for the neck. So they're not for this purpose. But when you have the correct wrapping strips, those are much more stretchier, so you should be able to just handle and manipulate them much better. So yeah, once that was done, we put under the dryer, and then now this is me getting a little bit more into the cut and making it nice and precise. As it's her first cut, I didn't want her to do anything too heavy with the back, so you know, I kept it nice and short at the back, and I gave her a little bit more flexibility and a little bit more playfulness in the front. So I like to like go around the head and just cross check. A lot of people, sometimes I see people in the comments and they're like, well, why do you do this if you whack it off hair and da 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 da? Listen, each to their own. I've got my style, and my style works for me. So if I'm gonna double triple check a cut, let me double triple check a cut. If I'm gonna take my time with the cut and just do it in stages, that's what I'm gonna do, because that works for me and my clients, and that's absolutely fine. Like, we're not here to judge. You can watch. It works. This is my system. It works for me. So I'm a double triple checker, and I really like to go through my cut and just make sure that everything just sits nicely. So this is where I'm just kind of like you know, checking to see how it's gonna sit and just being quite playful with it. And this is where we've not added any tonguing into her hair just as yet, and I'm showing her that should you do nothing, this is what it's going to look like. And you know, just making her comfortable. I mean, she was still finding it a little bit difficult to even look at herself, because this is such a transition for her. But you know, my job is to just obviously make her feel comfortable and just ensure that she understands what's happening and what is going to be asked of her, you know, when she is at home styling it herself. As you know, I went in with my lovely Marcel's. I am a Marcel girly. It's very, very rare, I know, but this is just my comfort. This is my place. This is what I know, and I'm just happy with it. I'm happy with the results, and I don't think any straightener compares. I use straighteners personally at home, but in the salon for my clients, I like to give them that bit more. And you know, I've heard, you know, the response, which they say to me, it just lasts longer and it just gives their hair a better feel. So once I was done tonguing, this was the end result. She went home educated and looking super cute.